United States citizens can file for their spouses, their children who are unmarried and under 21, and if the citizen is over 21, they can file for their parents. Those are what are called immediate relatives, and for those people, they're accepted from this visa system that I described. They can immediately get status as immediately as immigration can process it, which can take time as well, but they can do that. They can also claim their children who are over 21 if they're married or not, but those that are backlogged about 20 years. And then citizens can also file for their brothers and sisters. And again, there's a 17 to 20 year backlog for those types of petitions. Then lawful permanent residents can only claim their single children and their spouses. So it's a really limited amount of family-based categories that there are. And there are tremendous backlogs in those categories, in many of those categories. The employment-based side, and I don't do that much employment-based side, but a lot of it is for people who have high degrees of education or skill. So it doesn't help, a lot of the common people that do labor-type jobs. The farm-related, the agriculture-related, I know we're going to be talking to Tom Ferguson later. Tom's going to be getting the award. The H-2A is for agriculture, labor, services of a temporary or seasonal nature. So it's not a situation where it's even a permanent status that you can get, is the first thing. And then the other thing, you have to come in from the country of origin to the United States on that visa. And people that have entered unlawfully aren't going to qualify that, and then, except for in rare circumstances, are they going to qualify for the waiver that they need for the unlawful presence that they've had here in the United States. So it's not a very workable situation for farm workers. It just really doesn't work. Again, the Senate bill would change that, and it would provide permanent status for those who work in agriculture, given certain criteria. So that would be a great help to many of the people we see here in western Wisconsin who do work in agriculture and do work in agricultural related industries. So that would be helpful to us. I guess I'd like to just see if there's any questions and anything people would like to talk about or ask me about regarding immigration-related issues.
Do you have any kind of stats on how many children are left behind or deported parents or snatched up from the families, and the kids are left both unattended or whatever?
Yeah, I've read something recently about that. I think it's in the area of like 50,000 or something like that. There are what's called special immigrant juveniles, juvenile visas that are available. That's a good program if you can get it, but it's a big problem. And it's also getting a situation where the children can be cared for as well. Did you have a follow-up question?
Yes, and since those kids or children are born here, they're automatically eligible for citizenship statuses, are they not?
Anyone who's born here, is that what you're saying? Yeah, anyone who's born here is a United States citizen, regardless of their parents' status. There's been talk, changing that. from certain quarters, but that has not gotten any traction, I don't believe.
Great.
Ma'am, you have a question?
What's the name of that Senate bill you said was coming?
Senate bill is called I'll get you that after I'm done. Yes, ma'am.
Would you talk about some of the advantages and disadvantages of allowing people to become citizens, to the society as a whole, to corporations or businesses that employ them, and for, and to the individual?
Well, sure. I think
There's
there's.
questions, so we can get ready.
The question was, what do you explain to the advantages? What are some of the advantages and disadvantages of a person, for a person to become a citizen, socially, to the corporations or businesses or the people that employ them, and to the individual?
Thank you.
Sure, thank you. Well, I think one of the big advantages of is, we've heard a lot of talk about how, well, Social Security is going bankrupt, and we don't have enough people coming into the system that are going to pay, and more people with the baby boomers retiring who are going to draw from Social Security, and as it pertains to other benefits, certainly by bringing people into the system legally, then they're going to contribute legally via their taxes, via their contributions to other benefits. Those things are going to be accounted for, because all too often people who are in an undocumented status, unfortunately, they're not going to be able to do that sort of thing because they may, because of their lack of documentation, they may need to be paid in cash, or they may need to be paid in a way that's not going to get into the tax system. That's not always the case, but and certainly if people have status, then they're going to be coming above board and contributing to society, not only as they do presently with their work and their efforts, but they'll be contributing in a more official way in terms of their contributions.
If you have them legally in the United States, would that force then businesses to pay them a living wage, or just to hopefully help them to abide by some of the work standards of the rest of us, and maybe raise the standard of living for everyone?
Yes, I think absolutely. I think certainly there's abuses that are pretty well known in terms of workers who are undocumented. I think particularly in the agricultural area, where you have workers who are paid less than they are supposed to be paid under minimum wage laws. They're working in conditions that are not up to standard, that are not safe, that are not satisfactory. And certainly I think that would help